Today on the program, I'm going to tell you about the day I saw my guardian angel. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this huge white figure appears in my room. And I am so scared that I throw my blankets over my head. And this voice inside me says, "Scott, there's no need to be afraid. That's your guardian angel. Look how big he is." But I remember it pure white light, and there was no eyes or nose or face. Its wings were like clouds, puffy clouds. There's no way that I can go from being super scared and thinking I saw something to all of a sudden I just have this like peace come over me. Only an external force, like Jesus, could come and do that for me. On this episode of My Experiences with Jesus. So when I was a young man, I was afraid of the dark. And I'd be very terrified. I'd stay up at night, glaring into the dark, looking for something to be there, because obviously something's going to be there. A monster's going to be there to get you, you know. Of course, there was nothing, obviously. But when you're a kid, you think these things, right? My bedroom was at the back of the house where there was totally no light at all. And then in the summertime, there would be like frogs chirping and stuff like that, so it didn't really help too much. I was taught about Jesus at a young age. My parents took me to church on Sundays, and they read me children's Christian stories. And, you know, sometimes there'd be preachers on the TV while you're eating your breakfast before school or while you were about to go to bed at night. There would be, you know, pastors on tape speaking. And so I knew a lot about Jesus. I knew a lot about the Lord. And so I knew scriptures. When I was about 12 years old, I was in that room. And I'm peering into the darkness, looking, and I've probably got my blankets up to my neck, and I'm just looking in the dark for something to get me, you know? And of course, there's nothing there. But I start quoting scripture. I quote 2 Timothy 1:7, which says, "I do not have the spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind." So I just keep repeating this over and over and over again. I do not have the spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind. And I just keep repeating the scripture over and over and over again. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this huge white figure appears in my room. And I am so scared that I throw my blankets over my head. And my heart's racing, I'm, scared, I'm afraid, and all of a sudden, this huge peace comes over me, and I'm no longer afraid anymore. And this voice inside me says, "Scott, there's no need to be afraid. That's your guardian angel. Look how big he is." Now I'm not afraid, and I'm thinking, well, I got to see this, So I throw my blankets off my head, and of course, the angel is gone. Now, the angel was pure white light. There was I don't remember him having hands or anything like that, but I remember it pure white light, and there was no eyes or nose or face. Its head looked like a teardrop, but it was like pure white light. And its whole body was just pure white light. The only thing that I do remember that was different was that its wings were like clouds, puffy clouds, and they had like blue sparkles in them. The reason I remember this so vividly is because when I was a kid, they used to put glue on paper, and then you take blue sparkles and you throw them on the paper and let the sparkles stick to the paper. And it was like these blue sparkles were embedded in these puffy cloud wings that it had. And the other thing to note was that the angel was so huge that it was almost like it was squished inside the room, like it had to crouch down in order to fit inside my bedroom. Some people might say, Scott, you just imagined this, you were a kid. The reason I say that I didn't is because first I was scared. And then when I saw the angel, I was really scared. And I threw the blankets over my head. My heart was probably pounding really fast. And I was scared. There's no way that I can go from being super scared and thinking I saw something to all of a sudden I just have this peace come over me. And I all of a sudden have a peace. I can't generate that myself. I believe that an external force came in, God, Jesus, and gave me the peace that I needed. And then on top of that, if you're scared and you're a little kid and you're scared and it's, traumatic or frightening, how then do I all of a sudden come up with this theory, oh, it's your guardian angel, don't worry about it? Only an external force, like Jesus, could come and do that for me. Sometimes I hear people, they say, Jesus can't be real, or, you Christian people are maybe a little bit gullible, or you're brainwashed by the government, or brainwashed by your parents, brainwashed by the church. I want to say that if I called out to Jesus or God and I didn't hear an answer, then I would be skeptical too. But I'm doing this documentary so that we can tell people the reason we believe in Jesus, the reason we believe in God, is because of the experiences we've had with Jesus. And that's why this documentary is called My Experiences with Jesus, because we want to show people it's about the experiences. It's not about brainwashing from the church or the government, or our parents brainwashed us when we were kids, or we're just gullible people. It's the experiences that we have with Jesus that make us believe. Do you have an experience with Jesus you want to share? We're looking for you. Contact Scott Coolich through his Facebook email, and you might just end up on the program.